What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podonthego show. I'm your host, Rez. And this week, we've been talking about endurance. Yesterday, I had a sick kid, so I wasn't able to put out content, but I did keep it going, and I posted on my blog. So if you want to see what I posted about, you can check out the blog at podonthego.com/blog. So today, however, we're talking about your mom's house. Does it suck? All right, so I also created some new criteria for every rating and review that I do of a podcast. And I left the video of how it works down below in the description if you want to check it out, or you can just go to the website and check it out. So yeah, let's get started. Your mom's house. Let me see. Let's run through some notes I made on it first. Your mom's house it's a podcast with Tom Segura and Christina Pazinski. I don't think I'm going to say that again, so we'll just say Christina P. The first episode was on YouTube, was episode 58 in June 2012. That's the earliest episode I could find, unless they have it somewhere else. Meaning they probably began about a year before that in 2011, which is really cool. So that's almost, 10 years they've been producing a podcast fairly regularly. If not, that makes sense. This is almost 10 years they've been producing a podcast this year. What else I want to say really quick? Some of the shows have a ton of ads, which is, I get it. You got to make money. I'm not hating on that. You got to make money from your show, especially you want to see some return on investment. But it kind of sucks for the listener if they're not interested in the product. But they do make it kind of fun to listen to. So if you listen to a podcast, listen to Your Mom's House for the first time, you're going to hear some ads, but they make it kind of fun to listen to. So that adds something to it. And also there's lots of missing episodes. It starts at 58. Then it goes to 63, 64, 65, and then it jumps up to 327. And I don't get it. I don't understand why. Like, what happened to them? Why they take them down? Why haven't they put them back up? Or maybe they did, and I just haven't noticed. And it's even crazier with like iTunes. Or if you're listening on a podcast, it's only the last 100 episodes as of today. It starts at episode 498, and maybe they didn't have it as an audio format at first. So why not just upload all the? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe somebody else can explain it, or maybe they explained it on the show, and I just don't understand it. But anyway, that's it for right now. That's just my notes. There's a few other things I'll bring up, but first, so with the new format, okay, we're gonna go through a set of criteria. It's 5 or 6 criteria that we're gonna go through, and the first one is production. Is Your Mom's House produced well? Is the audio level? Do they have a great intro and outro? Is there background music? And does it overwhelm? Do they stay on topic? And do they do a lot of prep work before the show? Can you tell that? And yeah, I think it's pretty good. One out of 30 points I would give them a 29. Their producer is Nadav, aka Blue Band, and he has been with them really since like I think I read somewhere like episode 40 or 45, really, really early. They were using Joe Rogan's old producer, Red Band for a while, and then they switched over to Nadav, and now they, aka Blue Band. And he's been with them from the very beginning. Seems like that's basically the beginning. And he's been killing it. And I know what it takes to produce a podcast for a comedian. So for him to last that long and for the show to continue to grow and improve, it's incredible. And when you if you go to their YouTube channel, which I linked below, and you check out that first episode they have listed up, go to videos and then filter it from the, so you can see the oldest video they posted. It's amazing how much better it is now, how much better the production is, the audio quality, the viewing experience. The studio looks really cool, and it's all just in their garage. But it went from a spare room, what it looks like, to the garage, and it looks really, really good, really impressive. Professional level, everything. And yeah, so shout out to Nadav. So they're getting a 29 for Nadav and for the ability to improve. That's really what it's all about with your podcast. So you start where you are, and then as you go over 10 years, it's 10 years they put into their production. So over 10 years, you can improve slowly. You can add better mics at some point. You can get a sponsor, then add a better background, a better sound design, or, and better equipment. You take your time and you improve as you go. Better cameras, whatever it takes, to improve. But you start where you are. Start with what you have and improve. Be in it for the long run. Endure. All right, so next, is after production, is entertainment. This is what they do. You know, do I laugh or smile? Yes. Did it distract from my daily stressors? Was I immersed enough to forget where I was in real life? You know, the moment where it's like, did I stay in the car in my driveway to hear the rest of the episode because I didn't want to end it? Do I work out longer or harder because I want to finish the podcast? Yeah. So this is what they do. They're two comedians, 27. That's, professional level. It's going to be hard to beat them as far as entertainment goes. They are I believe they're what every radio, like morning radio show. I think they aspire to be like Your Mom's House. If they had the freedom to talk about any topic they wanted to, if this is, this is the gold standard for what a talk show is, even though they're not a radio show, which is, again, the beauty of podcasts. You can talk about whatever you want to. So yeah, entertainment, 27, very high level. Education, did I learn something? Will I be able to take what I heard and apply it to my life? Did a guest story inspire me to be better? Was my point of view changed on a topic or issue? Now, no. No, I do not learn. When the episodes I've listened to of Your Mom's House, other people can probably speak to this better if they're huge fans of the show. I should have had, my boy Tyler come on and speak on it. Check him out at thecreativetruth.com or the Creative Truth Podcast, because he's a big fan of the show. But I've never learned anything. Now, I give them a 15 because they do pull a lot of clips and funny segments and, TikToks or whatever, any kind of clips that you can, like, I'm learning something there because now I can take this clip and share it with my friends. But as far as improving myself, no, I don't learn anything there. Except for, like maybe just watching Tom and Christina become better people or become better hosts and become better producers over 10 years. That's something really cool to look at and look, from the outside looking in and with a bird's eye view of 10 years ago to now, seeing how they've lost weight, they've got in shape, they've had kids, they've brought people on, they've improved the space, they've improved the show immensely. But education, no, I'm not learning anything from the show. Engagement, this is a big one. Does it engage the audience? Are they thinking about the listener? Are they asking and answering listener questions? Do they shout out their followers and supporters? Do I have a name as a listener? Is there a community or a way for me to connect with the host? Yeah, I think this is the gold standard of what engagement should look like with the podcast. They do a tremendous job with this. Even the intro music, the first thing you hear is, if it's not an ad, it is a listener submitted, music track that they play for a few seconds and they shout out the listener. They answer questions and respond to Instagrams. They, go on journeys with different listeners, and then they bring them on the show if it makes sense. They, interact with people via social media. It's easy to reach them, or Nadav, or I'm sure they have a Reddit. I'm sure they have a subreddit or a Facebook group. I'm sure it's tons of that stuff. The comments, as far as I know, they probably don't delete any comments, and they interact with people who post comments on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube episodes. So yeah, they engage. It's tremendous what they do. They have, I'm sure that, there's all these, also, another cool thing about Your Mom's House is if you watch it, then there are all these little inside jokes that they have with each other. And I think they did something where they, like Garth Brooks, like he became a thing where it was like Garth Brooks is known just as much for his music as he is for being the punchline on Your Mom's House, which is pretty funny. That's something really cool. The engagement they have with their audience is heads and shoulders above any other podcast that I can think of right now. Not to mention, doing stand-up comedy and seeing fans, all over the world on a regular basis. That's really cool. Uniqueness. Is it unique? Is it distinctive from other podcasts on similar topics? Does it plagiarize, or has it been inspired? Are they stealing, or are they being inspired by other podcasts? Does the host add a unique perspective? Hosts. Is there a specific niche or topic they discuss? Is the research and prep work phenomenal compared to other shows? I would say yes. I think something really cool about what Tom does is that no other shows have done it that I've noticed, at least not to this level, is they bring on other friends' podcasts that make sense onto their platform. So in addition to Your Mom's House, they also have course, I lost my notes. They also have Two Bears, One Cave, Dr. Drew After Dark, Where My Mom's At, The Josh Potter Show, Tom Talks, and Tom Segura in Espanol, which is cool. Like, nobody else does that. As far as I know, like, you might promote another podcast on your show, or then you might have a guest on, but nobody, I'm sure somebody else does it, but they do it. They're the ones I noticed doing it first. They will launch a podcast on their platform. That's extremely unique. And also that he does some shows in Espanol. You know, his main audience might not be able to understand it, but maybe he's building a whole new audience who's either bilingual or speaks Spanish solely as their main language. So that's really cool. Tom also gets his parents involved. Nobody else does that either. You know, nobody else does that. He'll bring his parents on and make them give them a chance to tell a joke or read a script or be the punchline of a joke. Incredible, right? Incredible. That's unique. It's something nobody else is doing. Yeah, so like I said, I think it's just what every morning show aspires to be. They're doing it. What else is unique about this show? The guest selection, the topics they cover, the perspective that Tom Segura and Christina P have. They've both been in comedy and entertainment for quite a while, so they have, a lot of cool friends. Though it's very, very, it's not your average comedy interview podcast. They cover a lot of topics in a cool way. So yeah. So total, is it a great podcast? 129. That's a pro level. That's a great level podcast. The best I could get is a 150. That's the highest number I've done yet. So yeah. So next, lastly though, the most important thing, my opinion, the X factor. Yes or no? Do I feel a part of the show, or am I just a spectator? Would I cash app him $40? Do I feel compelled to share the podcast? If I saw him at a stand-up comedy show, would I wait in line to talk to him? That's a big thing. Solely my personal opinion is very subjective, but hey, guess what? It's my show, so I can do it. So yeah, I think so. I think if I went and saw Tom Segura and do a stand-up show, and I do think he's funny. There's not a lot of comedians that have podcasts that I think are funny, but I think he's actually really funny. I haven't heard Christina P stand up, but maybe I will one day. But yeah, I would wait in line, and I would say, yeah, you have a great podcast. I enjoy it. I think he has the X factor. He engages his people. Anybody I know that likes Your Mom's House feels compelled to tell me about it, tell me about episodes. So yeah, is it great? Yeah, it's a great podcast. So Your Mom's House, you get the Pot on the Go seal of approval. It's a great show. I can recommend it. You're at the top of the list of any comedy podcast that I've listened to or produced. So that's it, guys. That's it. Your Mom's House is a great podcast. Thank you guys for watching the Pot on the Go show. This is my first rating live, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the criteria. Maybe I should add something or take something away. Just let me know what you think in the comments. All right, I'm Raz, host of Pot on the Go. If you want to check me out or reach out to me, you can find me at podonthego.com. Peace out.